Welcome to Garden Design. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a site plan. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, I suggest you go back and start with number 1. That will help you understand the whole process so much better. Here's our design process, and we're now in step 2, creating the site survey. What we're going to do is take your sketch plan and redo it, being a little neater, and putting things into the right location based on the distances between things. We want to create a drawing that's to scale. In order to do this, you're going to need some graph paper. Doesn't really matter what type you use. You'll see that I use a fairly simple graph paper, but you do need some type of graph paper in order to locate things properly. So let's get going on the site survey. Before we can get started, we have to decide how big this piece of paper needs to be. Now, when I looked at my sketch plan, the back property line, the wooden fence, is about 45 feet long. But when I count up the number of squares here, I only have 32. So if I make each square 1 foot, I'd have to draw this way down here off the paper. Now you can do that. You can take 2 of these pieces of paper and join them together with some tape and make it larger. Now in my case, I also have to do the same on the side. So I'd actually need 4 pieces of paper to do this drawing. That's if I use 1 square for every foot. There's a big advantage to try and get your drawing onto 1 standard size paper. And the reason is that once we have the site survey complete, we're going to make many copies of this. And if it's all on 1 paper, it's so much easier to make those copies. So what I'm going to do, rather than take 4 of these and glue them together, I'm going to change the scale a little bit. I'm going to make each square here equal to 2 feet. And if I do that, I have room coming down here of about 64 feet, and I only need 45 feet. So that's going to fit just right. If you want to remind yourself what you're doing, you can write that right in here. 1 square equals 2 feet. What I like to do is start in 1 corner of the lot. Now I could start at the back corner here, or even corner of the house. In this case, I'm not exactly sure where the house goes relative to the back fence. So I'm going to start with this back corner. There's a fence here and that concrete wall here. And I'll just put a dot here to represent that back corner. The back fence is 45 feet long. Each square is 2 feet. So I need 22.5 squares. So I'm just going to count down these squares. 1, 2, 3, so on. And I just put another dot right here. I then go and identify all of the other areas. Now to save me some time in the video, I've gone ahead and done that and put some little pencil marks here so I know where they are. But let's go through the process a little bit. The next one I would identify is this brick wall. This brick wall is 58 feet long, which brings me right to here. The distance from the brick wall to the house is 18 feet, which would be here. And the distance from the fence to this back corner is 40 feet. So this is the corner of the house. This is the other corner of the house. This back tree here is 5 feet down this way, 2.5 squares, 4 feet this way, so that's 2 squares. So the tree is located right here. Now I'll go and identify the other areas, the doors, the windows, the electrical outlets, the water outlets, and so on, and just put dots to identify the corners for now. I now have all the key points marked. So what I'll do is I'll take a ruler now and make all of these straight lines. That will make the drawing look a little neater than the sketch plan. Let me go ahead and do that for you. There's a few other things we can mark in. The property line runs along here. We have an electrical outlet here. We have water here. There's a window well here. I also like to mark the direction of the property. In this case, this is north. The reason I do that is I have some idea where the sun is relative to north. I know it comes up in the east, comes across the sky, and goes down in the west. So that will help me a little bit when I'm trying to design this. I know the sun is coming mostly here. There's a window here, 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 and here. And this is the door. In your drawing, add in anything that you think will be useful for your design work. On this property, there's a sidewalk running along this wall. So we want to keep that in mind if we're trying to create some privacy here. We also have this slope factor. So from about here to here, we have a slope of about 6 inches per 10 feet. The slope here is pretty minor, so we can think of that as being flat property, but this end does slope down. So now this is the completed site survey for my property. Everything is in scale. The size of the backyard can be easily seen relative to the house. Now when I do any kind of drawing, I'll know how big of a space I have. This is 20 squares, which is 40 feet. Well, if I put a patio back here that's 20 feet long, that'll take up half this space. And that's why it's important to make this drawing to scale. This represents our starting point. Now we can start the fun stuff of actually designing. Here's the homework assignments for this video. I want you to go and make your own site survey. Once you're happy with it, make several copies. You're going to need those in the next steps in the process. Have a look at the next video. It's all about making a sun map. The sun map will help you understand where the sunny and shady parts are in your garden. And I've included my sun maps in the garden design workbook. You'll see that my garden is mostly sunny, but there are a few shady areas. As usual, I'll put a link to the garden design playlist in the top right-hand corner. That'll make it easy for you to find the next video.